In Naruto Anime Season 1, Naruto Uzumaki is an annoying but determined ninja who's always trying to earn his teammates' respect. But why does he want their respect so badly? What is it about being a ninja that's so important to him? And how do these ninjas actually get stronger? Stay tuned because in this video we're gonna find out. The world of Naruto is full of ninja who can use special abilities called jutsu. Some are for stealth, some are for healing, and others are just deadly. Now, to cast any of these jutsu, a ninja needs chakra, which is an energy source unique to each person. And the more chakra a ninja has, the stronger they are. So obviously, if you want to be a strong ninja, you need lots of chakra. But what makes someone like Naruto such a knucklehead is that he doesn't know how to control his chakra. You see, every ninja learns how to control their chakra by sealing it inside themselves. And the younger they are when they learn this, the easier it is to master. But Naruto was only able to learn how to seal chakra inside himself after getting help from a toad. And up until that point, he was wasting all of his chakra. That's why he had to use the bathroom so often. It just goes to show that Naruto actually having a lot of chakra, he just didn't know it at the time. And now that he knows how to control his chakra, he wants to prove himself by becoming Hokage, which is basically the leader of his village. So throughout the series, he works towards that goal. But even though he trains day and night, he's still not very good at most of the ninja skills. For example, he's terrible at stealth because he's either too loud or he just runs into things. He's also pretty bad at genjutsu, which is a type of jutsu that targets another ninja's mind. But the one skill where Naruto really excels at is taijutsu, which is basically hand-to-hand combat. Taijutsu is a bit different than other types of fighting styles because instead of simply punching and kicking your opponent, you have to make sure you're using your entire body to attack and defend. This includes using every muscle, joint, and even bone in your body. And that's something that comes naturally to Naruto because he's already crazy and reckless. Of course, there are still plenty of times where Naruto gets beaten up in the anime. But over time, he improves more than any of the other beginner ninjas because he's got so much chakra to work with. And since he fights recklessly, he's willing to push through pain to keep going. But that's not the only reason he gets stronger. Another big factor is that he's always making new friends. And every single time this happens, he gains the power of friendship, which is so strong that it could probably level a mountain. I mean, think about it. When Naruto teams up with Sasuke and Sakura, he instantly becomes a lot more confident and stops acting like a class clown. And later on, when he befriends a bunch of other ninjas, he's able to defeat enemies that he would have never been able to take on before. In fact, there's even a filler arc where he fights a literal god and comes out victorious. But that fight isn't canon to the main story, so don't worry about it. Now, I know what you're thinking. Wait a minute, doesn't Naruto's power of friendship contradict the whole idea of being a ninja? I mean, ninjas are supposed to be stealthy and work alone, right? Well, yes, but that's not how the Leaf Village operates. Most missions require more than one ninja, and having teammates means you have more firepower and different abilities. In fact, one of the best teams in the village is Team 7, which consists of Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura. And they're great because they complement each other perfectly. Naruto is strong but reckless, so Sakura's medical abilities help to save his life many times. And while Sasuke is super talented and cool, he lacks the strength and stamina to go on long missions. But Naruto's ridiculous amounts of chakra helps them out in those situations. Basically, they balance each other out, and it's the same for the other teams. Like there's Rock Lee, who's a taijutsu specialist, but he's missing one very important thing. See, Rock Lee can't use any ninjutsu or genjutsu because he doesn't have the ability to manipulate his chakra. This makes him weaker than the other genin, but it also gives him something to strive for. And in the end, he's able to overcome his limitations and become a great teacher. Then there's Shikamaru Nara, who's lazy but smart. His specialty is a form of jutsu that allows him to control his opponents using shadow puppets. And then there's Choji Akimichi, who can expand his body to fight bigger opponents. But he suffers from low self-confidence, so what he really needs is a good teammate. And lucky for him, he ends up with Ino Yamanaka, who can transfer her consciousness to other people. This might sound a bit confusing, but she essentially becomes the person she's fighting, which means she can boost her allies' strength and weaken her enemies all at the same time. And together they make an awesome team, but sometimes even the best teams have to deal with a knucklehead. I'm talking about Team 10's Kiba in Yuzuka, who has a lot of confidence but not enough brains. I mean, even though he can transform into a dog, summon giant wolves and fight with wild abandon, he's just not that strong compared to the other genin. And it makes matters worse that he thinks he's hot stuff. And speaking of genin, let's talk about the strongest ones. Now, in terms of raw power, it's probably safe to say that Neji Hyuga takes the cake. Even though he started off as an arrogant jerk, he's actually really cool once you get to know him. And he's extremely powerful because of his Byakugan, which is a special dousing ability that gives him near 360-degree vision and the ability to see someone's chakra points. It's because of this that he's able to defeat Zabuza Momochi, who's actually a Jonin-level ninja. But even though Neji is the strongest, he's not necessarily the best. That title belongs to Shikamaru, who's able to defeat Haiden, a ninja that's literally immortal. The reason Shikamaru is able to defeat Haiden is because he understands his opponent's motives and plays to his strengths. And while that might sound like a bad idea, it's actually the best way to win a fight. And that's because the main goal of a ninja is to protect the people they care about. If you understand who you're fighting and what makes them tick, you can play on their emotions and get them to do what you want them to do. For example, Zabuza was a missing nin who left his village to become a mercenary. He ended up taking a mission that put him in conflict with Team 7, but he really just wanted to get stronger so he could protect his teammate, Haku. In fact, that was the only reason Zabuza became a mercenary in the first place. So when Haku died, Zabuza immediately forfeited the fight. That's how important protecting your loved ones is to a ninja. And although Orochimaru is one of the main villains of the series, he too is motivated by a desire to protect someone. During the Chunin Exams arc, he reveals to Sasuke that he's actually his older brother, which means Sasuke's entire backstory was a lie. And although Sasuke refuses to believe him at first, he eventually realizes the truth and joins Orochimaru anyway. It's a bit controversial, but this is easily one of the best moments in the entire series. And if you want to see more moments like this, just watch the series.